We're going to be working on our 2-point perspective projects, and it is very similar to what we just did in 1-point perspective, except that we will now have 2 vanishing points, which creates a little bit different of an image. And we will be creating cityscapes. So to create our cityscape, you're going to start with your horizon line. Anywhere you want on your paper is fine. We should be working in the landscape position though, so that's where your paper is wider than it is tall. The opposite way would be a portrait position, so this is landscape position. I have my horizon line, and now I'm going to place my vanishing points, and it should have 1 on each end. So I'm going to do 1 right about down here, and 1 right about down here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating my city, and to create my city I'm going to start with a building right in the middle. So I'm just going to start with some kind of rectangle shape, I think. So I am going to draw my vertical line, and then I'm going to connect that to my vanishing point on the left. You can do either one first. Draw nice and light, just like we did last time, because it's going to require some erasing. Then I'm going to come over here and go from this bottom line to my vanishing point, drawing nice and light. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So from my point, vanishing point to the corner. And you could really choose to do either a cityscape, or you could even do a very detailed single building. It's kind of up to you. I'm going to do a cityscape. So I've got my basic outline, and then I'm going to start to go ahead and add my city. So I'm going to start with this one building in the front. So I'm drawing another vertical line next to it that creates the side of the wall there, and another one here. And then I'm actually just going to go ahead and erase the line that extended all the way to my vanishing point, because I don't really need that right now, because I'm going to be going in and adding some other buildings back behind it. And I would erase this one as well. I'm going to go ahead and add another building back here. I'm going to go ahead with another vertical line, and then going to my vanishing point. Let's see, I'm going to go to this vanishing point from over here. Stretching all the way across, but when I hit something I stop. So I'm starting here, but when I hit the building there, because it's back behind it, you can see this building comes in front of it right here. So that's going to stop there. And then I'm going to go ahead and replace that line, I believe, because that's the bottom part of that building. And then I'm going to add the front side of this building. So I'm coming along here with the vanishing point and the corner again, drawing how big I want the front of the building to be. It's again going to go vertical here. And then I'm going to put that line back that I erased. I guess I didn't really need to erase that line. So that's just another building. Okay. And then your windows, when you get to windows and details and such, are going to be things like, they're going to go with your vanishing point just like we did last time. Or you can make them parallel to the rooftop. So for example, if I'm making some windows here, I might do something like this. Come down. I want you to be very detailed on this project, and I'm going parallel with the side here, which means name your businesses, put signs on your buildings. Don't just leave it plain. Okay, so there's a window, and I could continue to work my way down. Maybe I want to do individual windows, so I'm parallel with my rooftop again. Putting my individual windows here. Maybe I'm going to come down, show where the bottoms of the windows are. Again, I need to line it up with the edge of the building in order to show the angle of the windows. And so they don't look funky. Coming over here, lining it up with this one. And then I'm just going to edit, get rid of what I don't need anymore. And then I would continue to add those kind of windows. If you're doing something like adding the name of a building, it needs to also be on the angle that goes with the building. So for example, if I want to add a name here, I'm going to go ahead and draw a very light line just so I know how I want a couple of lines. Needs to be parallel with the rooftop again. And I'm putting these here as guidelines, so they're going to be erased. But at least I'll know how to position my letters. So for example, if this is the Publix, right? Okay, there's my Publix. The angle of the word is better that way. And you can go in and add things like doorways, because you could get away with not doing the doorways in the previous project. But for this one, you really need to add in things like doorways. And you can add a little more dimension to this by maybe adding in like where you can see the edge of this doorway so that it looks like it's going in. You can add in things like your actual door. It's going to be partly hidden by this, so there's my little handles on my double doors. That's where it shows that it's coming in. I would like to see some texture added. Texture is just how something feels or looks like it might feel, so maybe I wanted to add some bricks to give the texture of brickwork on some of my buildings. Don't just leave them all plain. We're going to get a little more detailed on these ones, and we are going to be outlining them eventually, and doing colored pencil for our finishing on this one. So I'm just coming in and kind of making it look like brick. So I want you to be very detailed, and you can get kind of crazy with this. Maybe you want to pick a theme for your buildings. So maybe you want to do some kind of scary city or some kind of, fantastical, surreal city. Whatever you want, but it does need to be detailed, and your buildings would extend all the way back. Maybe you want to do some different kinds of different shaped buildings. So maybe I'll do something like, let's see. Maybe I'll do some kind of pyramid building that's coming back behind here. So let's see, how would I do that? Coming in. So I've got like this triangle shape, and I want to create a 3D appearance, so I'm going to add in a side like that. Maybe I'm going to add in a side like that. And then, let's see, I need to get rid of these guidelines from before. Okay, so this is a really big pyramid here. Maybe I want to come in and add some kind of arched doorway. You're going to see this side of doorways, not the other side, based on your angle. Okay, so something kind of crazy like that. You can do buildings back in the distance too if you want to. Remember, they're going to be a little bit smaller. And they're going to lead to the vanishing points as well. Okay, so that one's a little bit further back. I'm going to go ahead and put in some roads. So my road is actually going to extend from my vanishing point. And you could do sidewalks, roads, whatever you wanted. Maybe you just want little pathways. So I'm going to bring it along here, and I'm going to leave some room for a sidewalk next to my building. So just left a little gap here, and I'm going to stop at the corner. I'm going to come over this way. Vanishing point. Leaving a little gap again and joining. So I have my little sidewalk there. And then I want to put in maybe a little curb, so I'm going to add another line to show where the curb would be. You step up onto that sidewalk. Put in a line here to show that it has some depth. And then I'm going to bring it over here and join it to my vanishing point. I moved a little bit on that one. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in my road here now. So coming again from my vanishing point, I'm going to go ahead and let this extend all the way through. Bring this one all the way up as well. And I'm going to have my roads kind of be like an intersection. So I'm just bringing them through this way, bringing it through this way. And you could leave these and put crosswalks in, or you could get rid of them. You can add in some stop signs maybe. You're going to get really creative with this. If you're doing things like adding in the lines to the road, you want to get it kind of centered on where the beginning of the road's going to be, and then you can bring in the road lines. They're going to get longer as they get closer to the intersection here. And then I would go in and add the second part of those. And we are going to be at a little bit of an angle because they should appear to be going into the vanishing point. And then I'll go in and finish those off. I think you get the idea on that, so I'm not going to finish those right now, but you could see that it would be going into there. I could add things like traffic lights. Maybe I want a big pillars with the traffic lights going across. The more detailed you get, the better it's going to look. I would stick to simpler shapes for the buildings and do a lot of detail.